Yes, sir. It's some real shit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Faded Truth. Before you do anything, like, share, subscribe. And today the show is sponsored by We Boss Radio Network. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific, make sure you're tuned in to the Music Addict Top 20 Countdown, where they spotlight some of the top independent music out today. So make plans to join Memphis Hollywood. Download the radio station or app by searching We Boss Radio Network. You can also listen online at webossradio.com. And today I have Ms. My Time McCubbin on the show, MMA superstar, hailing from Utah and now in Vegas. How you feeling today?
I'm good, girl. I'm good. What's up, y'all? Thank you for having me on.
So in Utah, what is there anything happening? Is that why you moved to Vegas? Because you wanted like a new scene? Because for me, when I think of Utah, I just think of like this random state. Never think about it. I don't even know what time zone it's in. Yeah, and Mormons.
No, I mean, there ain't nothing going on in Utah. Don't get me wrong, like, all my family's there, and I love my family to death. That if they weren't there, I would probably never go back. I mean, it is beautiful. Like, they have mountains, and it's green. But, I mean, it's like the same people doing the same shit, and everybody gets with everybody, too. So it's kind of a toxic place.
So if anyone has any plans to move, travel, do anything, do it. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yes, I think that everybody should leave their hometown, at least, not forever, it doesn't have to be forever, but I think at least once, just to see what else is out there, because there really is so much more.
When did you actually start fighting? Like, were you actually fighting when you were, like, little? Were you a bad kid? Like, how did you get into it?
Yes. I fought, like, all through school. I wasn't really like necessarily a bully, but I felt like I got picked on, and my mom just always told me, you know, somebody fucks with you, just do what you gotta do, handle it, you know. But it's so funny. One time me and my mom were talking recently, actually, and she's like, I remember when you were little and you used to bring all the neighborhood girls over and you would make them all play fight with you on the trampoline, and like you guys would like play fight like you guys were in a match or something, and you'd be beating all the girls up, and I'm like,
they're like, I don't want to go to her house anymore, Mom.
I'm like, that's kind of rude. And she's like, yeah, you always had a weird thing for fighting, and then, you know, like I always asked to be put into fighting, but one, it's expensive, and two, my mom wanted me to do like modeling, things like that, you know, be a girl dancing, but I couldn't dance, so that didn't last for long. And then, yeah, once I hit junior high, it's kind of when I started fighting more, and then I'd say like 16 years old, high school is when I went from like fighting to like defend myself to just hanging with the wrong crowd and fighting just to fight. You know? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Looking for fights.
Right. And then at what point were you like, I fight so much on the street, I can do this professionally?
I had went through like a rough patch probably when I turned like 18. Was just with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, got mixed up in all kinds of bad shit. And I was like, okay, I need something, you know, to pull me out of this. And I actually started CrossFit. It was great. I think I did it for like 6 months, but then it was like the passion left, and I could like feel myself kind of drifting back to wanting to do what I was doing before and hang out with those people.
Right.
And then it was one night I was with my family and we were watching, it was like the Ronda Rousey era. She beat her in like 16 seconds, and everybody was like, oh my God, you know, and we were all chilling, drinking, and I was just like, I can do that. I can fucking do that. All drunk, you know. I can do that.
I can Rousey this bitch.
I can fight. And so that was like I said, that was a Saturday. So by that next Monday, I went into the local gym in Utah, and literally from that point forward, it was the rest of my life. But I will say, being a street fighter does not mean you can fight. Like, two completely different things. I went in there and I didn't know my head from my ass, and I got my ass beat for months, you know what I mean? I had heart, but like, it's just, there's so much more that goes into fighting than just knowing how to fight, you know?
Right. So it's kind of different if you're like a professional or if you're just fucking up people on the street.
A street fight normally lasts like a minute and a half, you know what I mean?
And you're in the ring for like 5 rounds. You're like, fuck, I didn't expect
15
like
minutes. Yeah, exactly.
When you say that fighting saved your life, what told you, okay, I'm going to go down the wrong path even more if I don't do this? Like, what put you at that place?
I was in a really dark place, and I had somebody, you know, offer me some drugs, and I took it, and it's like, everybody's like, you know, you really get addicted after one time, and it's like, there are certain drugs that really are just like a one-hitter, you know, like,
right.
And that was it for me. I just looked around completely, like, my whole life, where I was at, the people around me, And like I said, now I go home and I see people kind of doing the same thing, you know, and it's like, what would I be doing if I didn't find fighting? I wouldn't have left. So fighting just pulled me out of that, and it gave me a purpose, like a reason to not do that shit, a reason to get out of Utah, a reason to be great, you know?
I like that, because a lot of people say when they find their passion, they like that it's therapy for them, or that they like found their purpose, and now they feel like they filled that void. Because I guess, you know, a lot of people that turn to different things like drugs and things like that, they're trying to fill that void. Is that how you look at it?
I used to, not anymore. Not anymore. That void's not there anymore. Like I don't want that shit. I don't think about it. But like there's been times when I've had injuries and stuff, and I've had to take a long time off, and I will slip not into drugs, but like I'll get into like drinking, or you know, just depressed and just doing stupid shit like that. So it definitely does keep me on the straight and narrow. But before, it was like life or death, straight and narrow type of thing. You know what I mean? Like without fighting, it was like so off path. I could go. Fighting's brought so many good people to my life. Like it's amazing. It really is. And
you got to surround yourself with people that have the same like goals and passions as you, and even higher. That way you excel, you know, and you always have somebody to look up to.
Exactly.
And that makes you push harder, and you're like, okay, I don't want to be doing this, I want to be doing this. Like, what are they doing? You know, you got to have good people in your circle. So it's good you have a good support system.
Yes, definitely.
So when was your first fight?
My first boxing fight was January 2015.
So you started with boxing?
It's my first love, you know. I had moved to another gym later on, and I was going to continue just boxing, but that was an MMA gym, and they were like, you know, why not move to MMA? And my whole plan was to like, you know, focus on boxing. But at the time when I started, women weren't really recognized in boxing. They're definitely more so nowadays, and it's just getting better, but it's still not the same as MMA. Like males and females in the boxing world, like their pay is just levels different.
It's
you know
so
what
fucked
I mean?
up.
And you're never gonna really see a woman headline a boxing card.
Is it like a sexist thing? Like, is it like
that's
how the world is?
And
like,
it's so
no one's uproared this. I know there's fucking all these organizations. No one's been like, let bitches fight. You've been training for 6 years now, right?
Yes.
Where in Vegas do you train?
I do my jiu-jitsu and wrestling at 10th Planet. I do my boxing at Big Shot Boxing with Mark Vallarta. That's down in like Henderson. And then whenever I do go to get my MMA rounds, anything like that, I go to Xtreme Couture. I just kind of have like a little group of people that I train with, like Vance Elrod, Victor Lipari, Octavian Trumbo. My boyfriend too, he helps too. But
nice. Is he? Does he fight at all?
He grew up in boxing. Yeah, he's got 67 boxing matches.
Wow.
Yeah, so he boxed his whole life.
How is that dating a fighter? Is it better or worse?
Better.
Okay.
Way better. I mean, I think for a male fighter, it's easier to date a girl that's not a fighter, obviously, you know. I think a lot of guys actually prefer it. Female fighters are fucking nuts.
I think any fighter's nuts. Yeah, I have to say. There's something loose in your brain that you want to get hit in the face.
Exactly.
That's why I could never like, people are like, why don't you just try? I'm like, nope. Nope.
To want to be locked inside a cage with another human, yeah, you're fucked up.
Because I'm scared I'm going to get like some permanent damage on my face.
It heals.
You know, and I'm like,
heals.
well, I might be pretty for like 20 more years.
I can't imagine being with somebody that didn't fight, because there's a lot that goes into it, you know what I mean? Especially when I have a fight, we're dieting hard as shit. Like we're not drinking, we're not doing anything fun.
Your mood is like off.
Yeah. You're just focused, you know. And like I think somebody that doesn't understand that would have a hard time living that. And then on top of it, like it's a male dominant sport, so I'm constantly with males. You know, I'm rolling around with dudes.
Do they ever treat you differently because you're a female? Have you ever felt that?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
That's good though.
Fuck us up.
Well, we're not gonna take it easy on you.
Yeah.
Like, punch to the face. Do you do crazy like sex moves because you like know jujitsu and shit? Like, do you like fucking scare him sometimes? Has he ever been like, whoa, babe, I wasn't expecting that?
He's like, I wanted to choke you, not you choke me.
You know them dominant women. Shut up, bitch. You're a 5'5" right now as an amateur.
Yep.
So that means you fought 10 amateur fights?
Yes.
Okay. If you could change anything about those fights, what would you work? Have you like looked at something and said, okay, I need to work better on this now from this point forward? Is like...
Yes. Definitely. You train and you train and you train, but it's one thing to train it and then to implement it in a fight, because when you're fighting, it's kind of like you know, you say you're going to do this and you're going to do that, but once the bell rings and you're fighting, it's like you're fucking fighting. You're doing what your body's going to tell you to do, what your body, like, and that's why that's why we train so much, because we want to have that repetition. But I've done boxing for so long, my mind always goes to standing, you know what I mean? So I would like to, and I am working on it, is to just be able to, my next upcoming fights, like I really just want to implement my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu, you know, show the world that I have that under my belt also.
Nice. So be more versatile with it. So.
Exactly.
So what was your favorite W that you got?
My favorite is probably my Utah State title fight, and I won the Utah State title at 115, and it was cool because, like, obviously that's my hometown, it's my home state, so it was like fucking awesome to go back there and do that. And it was like, it was history being made, because for MMA, you don't really see state titles, you see titles, and that's usually just the promotion that you're fighting for. You're their champion, right? But you don't really ever see like state champion, so that was new. It's, you know, legit as fuck. It's not just a little title. I am this Utah State champion at 115. Hey. Yes. Awesome to go.
How'd you win? Was it a knockout? Like, what'd you do?
No, we went 5 rounds, and that's another reason I loved it, because it was my first 5-round fight, and I mean I've only ever fought 3, and even as an amateur, title fights are usually 3 rounds. Pros, title fights are 5.
You gotta be 5. Like, so tired, right?
Yeah, and so this is my first 5-round fight. So like just going into those championship rounds and fighting somebody who was like, literally I beat the brakes off her and she would not quit. Like broke her, like she looked like an avatar. Her face was so like swollen, you know, and she just wouldn't quit. And so going into a fight with such a dog, you know, and I mean my face was messed up too. Like my lips were bleeding. Like it was a war, you know, and neither, like, because she's from Utah too, and so like I think we were both like
fighting for that title,
willing to die in there, like, you know what I mean? She had her kids there, like we were both putting it all on the line, and so it was an awesome experience to share with another warrior, and being able to walk away with the W. And I sold like 300 tickets, like my entire family and just upbringing and everybody was there, and it was amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome. 300.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your favorite fight? Would you say it's that one?
The Utah one, but like I said, I had that other one that I really liked. This is my second fight, and this was a straight banger. It was in Boise, Idaho, and the girl was like 3-0, and she was actually going pro after this fight. And they were literally just calling me down there to go get beat up. You know, I was going to be kind of like her stepping stone. And it was my first fight down to 115 too. And at the time it seemed completely impossible, because when I first started fighting, I was like a gorilla, a chunky monkey, you know what I mean? Like, that's another reason fighting saved my life. It brought health to me. It was, I think, such an important win, because it was a gnarly camp. You know, I was literally running 3 miles in the morning and 3 miles at night on top of my fight training just so I could cut that weight. You know, she had beat her last opponent with knees to the body, so that was kind of something we were worried about. And so we just drilled defending that. We drilled the offense to that, you know, me throwing knees a lot like that. And then we knew she was a banger, so when we came out, and she was throwing heat, and she hit like a fucking ox. I put her down twice in like the first 10 seconds, and then she was able to recover, and then she put me down in the first also. So like, can you just imagine 3 knockdowns in 1 round? Like, the crowd was going fucking wild. Like, the energy was so live.
Wow.
I was in her territory, you know what I mean? It was dope. And then the second round I was able to put her away. So.
And Destiny finally doing the smart thing and slowing this down. Goes to hook her up to just start feeding her with the right hand. Not much connecting though. Good knee to the stomach.
Blood is flying right now. Blood is pouring.
Oh, so you won?
Yeah.
Okay.
She got stopped. Well, she verbally tapped.
Oh, she verbally tapped.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can, right, so you have like knockouts.
Knockout.
You have like a mercy thing. Like,
and you can be like, get me the fuck out of here, ref.
Damn, McCubbin. Do you have a ritual before you fight? Do you do anything special before you get in the ring? How do you prepare?
In the back, I take a nap. I mean, I usually always fight kind of late, so I always have time to nap. And then
you can nap before you fight?
Oh, I try. I close my eyes and just kind of like go into that world, you know, go into that quiet world. I'm a snacker. I take my snacks, you know, like to have my little snacks back there. And my biggest thing is we pray.
Okay.
Yeah. People, I don't think, realize how serious fighting really is, and there's a chance that you might not walk out of there. So you always got to pray for you and your opponent. We want us to both go home safe to our families, you know.
How do you separate the I need to beat the shit out of this person to win, but I don't hate them? Like, how do you separate that? Like, you don't feel bad, right? Because, like, you know what I mean? When their face is gushing blood and, like, shit's pouring out and their kids are watching them get beat the fuck up and you're like, I gotta win. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I would be able to balance that. It's like a job, so it's like...
Yeah, I mean, obviously I respect the person that's in front of me. I try not to get, like, I don't really get friendly until after the fight, you know? When, like, at weigh-ins, like...
Until after I beat the shit out of you.
To after, what, you know, whatever.
Sorry about your broken nose. Anyway, you want to get a drink? The next fight that you have coming, do you have anything planned?
I don't have anything really set in stone. I was asked to actually go back to Florida where I fought in October to fight.
How long does it prep? So now, say you want to do this in February. Do you have enough time to prep? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm training right now, so like I'm staying in shape. I'm working on all the holes. I'm fixing the mistakes that I made in my last fight. Really,
okay.
You know, that's what I'm really working on. And when you're in fight camp, you really don't get to work on shit. Like you don't level up during fight camp. You just train for one purpose and one person. You know.
And how many weeks are you training?
A fight camp is typically 8 weeks. That's a perfect amount of time.
And then what's your diet like throughout those 8 weeks?
I count my macros when I'm in camp.
Macros.
Yeah, check it. You should check it out. Honestly, I think you'd like it because you can, like, it's flexible. If, say, you have 180 grams of carbs for that day, and there's a cookie that's 40 grams of carbs, eat the fucking cookie, count it, and you still have 140 grams of carbs to eat that day. So, you know, you're not depriving yourself of everything.
Right. Is there any type of opponent that you're scared of, or that puts any type of fear into you, like that you don't want to fight?
No, I mean, I'm not afraid of anybody other than God. But I think wrestlers, judo players, those types, they've especially if they came up in that, like I came up in boxing, people that come up in wrestling, or it's such a main base to the game of MMA. But when I get those opponents, it's like, okay, we gotta definitely work on shit this camp. We gotta really work on defense. We gotta really get very precise with the game plan.
The 5'5" as an amateur, that's MMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then did you ever do any pro boxing fights or any amateur boxing?
3-0.
Okay, so are you focusing more on MMA or boxing at this moment?
I am kind of focusing on MMA more. I feel I gotta finish what I started, in a sense. You know,
Right.
I haven't even gone pro. I haven't even gone there yet. So yeah.
So how are you balancing this? And then you're the real estate agent now in Vegas. So if anyone needs a home, hit up McCubbin.
Your home, your destiny.
Interest rates are cheap right now, guys.
They
COVID
really
rates.
They really are.
Buy a house.
Holla at me.
So how are you balancing all this? Do you have any special
Coffee.
thing you do? Is that coffee in there?
Yes. Coffee and Bailey.
Guys, it's 8 at night. She's drinking coffee. So she's committed.
Yes. It's definitely a grind, like literally from morning to night. And when I first moved here, I just trained full time, and that life is much easier. In MMA, shit happens. Your body doesn't hold up all the time, and there was times when I was dealing with a really serious injury, and it had me out for a while, and so it kind of made me have to reflect and ask myself, what are you gonna do if this doesn't fucking pull through? So that's when I was like, during the time that I was out, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go to real estate school, got my license, and a couple months later, I took a fight. So my last fight during my camp, I got my first 2 like legit clients. So I was juggling my fight camp that I hadn't fought in so long. So I was juggling a fight camp that I haven't even, gone through those emotions or anything in forever. And then on top of that, I was taking care of my new clients. So it was definitely a lot, and it was a challenge for myself, and I got to really test myself, and I made myself proud. Like I was able to.
Yeah, and real estate isn't easy to pass that fucking test. Yeah. So if you could say anything to your past self, what would you say? If you could go back.
I would just tell myself that God put me here to do way more than I was doing, and that there's a future, a big future, to just keep pushing.
Keep on pushing.
Yep, keep pushing.
And what would you say is your best advice to people that any type of fighters, anybody that wants to do this or is doing it?
If you're gonna do it, you do it. Don't half-ass it, because it's a lifestyle. Fighting isn't a game. So if you're gonna do it, do it.
Right.
You know, go all in.
So we can look for you, hopefully in the February. I feel like you're going to take it. I feel like I'm going to see a post next week, like, prepping for my next fight. Angie Martinez gave me the
She gave me that push.
juju.
Yep. If you need a house, or you know anybody that needs a house,
She got the keys.
I got you.
She got the keys.
We gonna match you right.
All right, guys. Until next time, and peace out.
Need to finish that. Logo on my fitted cap. I gave enough time to catch up, but I'm here, let me get it back.